Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, it would be much appreciated. Thank you. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is TikTokers earlier this year encouraging each other to download Kindle ebooks and return them within the 14-day period. With no intention, whether they like them or not, with no intention of ever paying for the book. And this affects authors. Now, there's a delivery fee regarding ebooks, apparently. So if a customer returns a book, the author still has to pay the delivery fee, which could be anything from 15 cents upwards. So I've read. Now, that's obviously going to hurt. So especially if an author, a popular author, is noticing huge numbers of books being returned, that's going to add to the bottom line. That's going to affect it badly. And let's say it starts at 15. If it's a graphic novel, a heavy, wordy novel, it's going to be a chunky ebook, for instance. That could really affect the bottom line there when it comes to delivery costs. Now, this obviously isn't a good thing. So if I go to Vice here on an article, there's lots of articles. All you have to type in is Amazon returns policy, TikTok, for example, and you'll get loads of different news articles based on it. So you can have a little read yourself. It's all available there. So I'm not making anything up. All I'm doing is taking information from, okay, we might not have lots of credible news agencies to pick from, but because there's such a lot of them, you can get an idea that, yeah, this is true, but there's other agencies too that are working on it. So if I take a little bit of one author, Lisa Kessler, when you buy a digital book, if you read and return it, Amazon just turns around and gets the money back from the author. Plus Amazon builds in a digital delivery fee. And so Amazon is still getting that delivery fee, but we get all the royalties taken back. There's nothing worse than getting returns for some authors. They've put a lot of time into their books, and they make a sale and they go, great, somebody's interested in my book. And then they look again and it's been returned. And not only that, apparently there's a fee on top that they have to pay because of it. So it's terrible. She goes on to say she would see on average 1 or 2 returns per month. But when she checked her Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP, sales dashboard on June the 1st, this is how far we're going back with this. And it's taking Amazon so long to react. She says she was shocked to find a negative account balance. Now, can you imagine? Not only are you not making anything, you're making less than anything. You now owe Amazon money. It's said that the majority of authors make as much as $200 a year on one book. As little, I should say. And that's if they're lucky. Some make virtually nothing. And obviously, there's the other extreme where people can make millions, but I'm just saying mostly people struggle. Kay Bromberg, another self-published author, told Motherboard, like you can literally see it in your dashboard. Someone goes through a series. They buy a book, they return it, they go to the next book in the series, they buy it, they return it. You can't see names, but it's like when there are 3 returns in a row, like from day to day, it's like, come on. And look at this, an advertisement for TikTok at the same time. That's the advert. That's about right, isn't it? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with TikTok. TikTok is apparently a great platform, but it's just like any social media, how people use it or abuse it, or can turn what looks like a great platform into something to avoid, and that shouldn't be the case. All platforms, should be on top of things like this. But what is Amazon doing about it? Well, I've checked Amazon's return policies this morning, Books you purchase from Kindle Store are eligible for return and refund if we receive your request within 14 days of the date of purchase. Once a refund is issued, you will no longer have access to the book. And it's basically that easy. And no changes have happened yet. If I go to the Authors Guild on their website, that's theauthorsguild.org, yesterday Amazon informed us of its plans to change its ebook return policy to restrict automatic returns to purchases where no more than 10% of the book has been read. That's a great idea. That's better than 14 days because they can monitor that. They can't monitor that with a paperback. I don't know what they would do in that case. So that remains open, and I'll inform you when I hear anything on that. But when it comes to the Kindle books or the ebooks, yeah, they can monitor that through the device. So if 10% has been read, that's it. You can't return the book. So that would put a stop to that TikTok craze, and that's what's needed, really. I mean, just for the sake of the authors, it's basically theft. Now, I don't know how they'd work that really, because it would have to be, let's say, for instance, there's 100,000 words in the book. So 10,000 words isn't a massive chunk of the book, but it's enough to know whether you're going to continue reading the book or not. So a 10% limit is fine. If you read 9% of that, 8%, and you return it, then fair enough. You decide you don't like it, but if you like it, chances are you're going to keep reading it past the 10%. So that's the bonus there. But it's 10%. Like I say, it depends on the size of the book. If the book's only 10,000 words, a little short story or a children's book, then 10%, well, 1,000 words, isn't a lot, but it's still 10% of the story. It still should be enough for someone to know whether they want to continue reading or not. The plan change will go into effect by the end of the year. Keep your eyes out. Let me know if the changes have been made, and hopefully, we'll be able to keep each other informed, and anybody else who's interested. Any customer who wishes to return an ebook after reading more than 10% will need to send in a customer service request. It will then be reviewed by a representative to ensure that the return request is genuine and complies with Amazon's policies against abuse. According to that, you can still send your book back after reading 10% if you fill in a request form and it gets reviewed and you have a good reason enough to want to return the book, then you may get a refund on that. So it still applies, but it's a bit messier, and it may be enough of a deterrent to stop people wanting to return a book after 10%. Those people, anyway, that are doing it to game the system. So, like they said there, you could end up owing Amazon, which would be terrible. So let's all keep each other informed. I'll let you know when I see any changes to the policies on returns policies for Amazon Kindle ebooks on this side of things. And you've got the Authors Guild stating that they've been working on this for a long time. So that's decent enough information there. You've got a load of news articles about what's been happening all year long. Like I say, just type it into Google on a search or whatever search engine you're using, Bing or whatever, and just keep checking Amazon's policies.